Couldn't really hear myself think. We're kicking off the stream today. Refresh. This is week 10. Last week of regular season. So that's exciting. We're going into playoffs. We already know who's going in because Will lost a lot this season. So it's the playoffs are going to consist of it's going to be Reese, Mike, myself, and Jordan going into the playoffs, which technically are going down this week. Maybe I'll be able to get my match in today, but the playoffs are going to be best of 3 matches, and teams are locked in as of week 10. So the 12 Pokemon that we have access to right now are all we can use for the playoff battles, and so these 2 matches lead up into that for our standings, really. And I'm pretty sure that Aris solidified his position in first place last week before he went into his bye week. So he's coming in as first place seed, and then this week determines like the other 3 placements, like myself versus Mike. One of us is going to be second, and then depending on how Jay does, he could pull up to third, and I could go down to fourth, or Mike could go down to fourth, and then we'll have our seeds going into playoffs. So first battle we got up is William versus Jay. Now I traded Jay the Medicham last week for his Mamoswine, and so he has that on his team. He decided to bring it this week. He's been having trouble this whole season, just kind of constructing his team. I think at first he was focusing too much on what the opponent's team consisted of, and not enough on what his team could necessarily accomplish, like no matter who they're up against. So that was interesting to notice throughout the season. That's probably why he did kind of bad. I kind of did the same thing in my first week or two, and then I started kind of getting more comfortable with my own my team construction and whatnot. So hoping that leads into Will. I don't think Will's here now. I don't know. I'm not gonna tell you who won, but yeah. So this week determines the seeds, and William's just trying to save face and go in without a 0-8 record, which would be a total. Didn't win a single match this league, so hopefully he can pull this one out. He's got a team that is interesting. His team, the only Pokemon that he has on his team right now that was like on his original squad, I think, is the Wigglytuff. Like Zoroark and Medicham and that Braviary all used to be on my team. Gudra was on the wire, and for the longest time that Pikachu as a Raichu was on Mike's team. So he's been shuffling his team a lot, trying to figure out what works, and kind of, I think that's what backstabbed him. And then Jay's team, Jay bringing the Wadham Wash, who did really well against Aris last week, could have brought him the victory if he didn't accidentally bring that Nidoking. And then his typical mons like Weavile, the Azumarill. He got both Volcarona and Venusaur from me. So, you know, he's got a pretty solid team there. I think the only one that can go Mega on his team right now is that Venusaur. So, I mean, on this particular battle team. So you can probably anticipate that that's a Mega Venusaur on there. Volcarona is pretty predictable. His Noivern can do a couple different things, as can his Azumarill. So I'm interested to see, what he ends up pulling out this week. Let's go ahead and get right into that. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, hopefully William can do better next week. He's leading off this week in the first match, and he starts with Braviary. I didn't ever really get to use Braviary in the league. I wanted to, but I never did. So this is the first time we get to see him. He leads with the substitute, which I never would have thought to have on my Braviary, which is probably a good thing to have though. So Thunderwave doesn't affect substitute, and Braviary gets a free bulk up because of that. And I think he seems to be faster than this Rotom too, so that's a plus. And the Volt Switch will probably take down that substitute, but the bulk up is already done. Yeah, good. There goes the substitute. So Volt Switch, so he gets to basically get like a free switch in on this Braviary. Really capitalizing on his weaknesses there and try to get substitutes down with pressure. He goes for the Ice Cold Crash, which is a devastating attack, especially with the stab and the weakness. But Braviary's bulk up was just enough to let him survive. And then he fucking kamikazes with Brave Burp. Boom. Focus Sash leaves Weavile barely hanging on. And Braviary dies because of the recoil damage. But that was good though. That was a good amount of damage he did on that. And now the knockoff's going to do a little bit to the Wigglytuff. And it turns out it wasn't a Wigglytuff. Oh shit, it's Zoroark. And Zoroark's leftovers are knocked off, but Flamethrower deals the KO to the Weavile. That was a pretty solid move on. That's the first thing I think that Zoroark has ever killed. So Rotom comes back out. Zoroark uses U-turn. I guess he's faster than Rotom Wash too, so he's able to get a free peck and back into the ball and a free switch in to Goodra, who's going to eat basically whatever this Rotom Wash is going to dish out, which I think is another Volt Switch. Yeah, he's just his pivot Pokemon. Boom. Does nothing to Goodra, and now he gets to lead. Cool. So he brings in this Pikachu to counter the Azumarill. Azumarill's play rough. Basically, oh shit, that would have killed that Pikachu too. He misses. So Pikachu gets a smack on this Venusaur, I guess, with what, like a nuzzle? Oh, for paralysis. There we go. Does a little bit of damage, and now he's paralyzed. So Venusaur, Pikachu did alright there. I think I've seen this Pikachu. He has like all electric type moves on it, so that's a little bonus for you. You can counter him with ground pretty well. Venusaur goes right into the Mega Evolution. I think you're going to set up on this Goodra. Oh, but his paralysis stops him from moving. And Fire Blast deals a massive amount of damage to this Mega Venusaur, although Thick Fat keeps it nice and alive. Sleep Powder goes on the Goodra, so they're both affected by a nice status condition. Even with the paralysis, it seemed like that Venusaur was faster than that Goodra, which is interesting. Pikachu versus the Azumarill. This is the second time Play Rough comes out, and this time it hits for a KO. That was a free KO on that Pikachu. I'm not quite sure. I mean, I guess he would have been faster than the Azumarill, but Azumarill hits pretty hard. That wasn't a good move to come in on. And then here's the Medicham. I traded him last week. Going Mega off the bat. Gonna assume that Fake Out. Pretty sure. Yep. It's like the only thing you can really lead with him. And he gets the free flinch, and then Medicham uses Psycho Cut with the stab and pure power bonus. That's enough to OHKO that remaining HP on the Azumarill, and Rotom comes in. High Jump Kick. Oh wow. And that's enough to kill the Rotom. If he was a ghost type, it wouldn't have worked. Noivern comes in. That's a flying stab bonus, so he's going to withdraw and save up for another Fake Out later on. Wigglytuff comes in to eat this Air Slash. Boom. And Wigglytuff. It's not Wigglytuff again. He gets us with the Zoroark. The illusion. And Zoroark goes down. Wigglytuff, I don't think, has actually ever been out in the match yet, for real. Sleeping Gudra. Noivern switches out. I would have thought he would have used, like, at least Draco Meteor on this Gudra, but I guess Venusaur wants to set up. Oh, and then Gudra responds by waking up and using Draco Meteor him damn self. Still not enough to KO Mega Venusaur. That tank-ass dude. And we see a withdrawal of the... into the Medicham, who's going to get hit with, Sleep Powder upon entry. Medicham is passed the fuck out. Going for a fake out, I'm sure. Doesn't really matter. Leech Seed. Seeds up this Medicham. Super Saiyan Blue Medicham. He wakes up and Psycho Cut. That's definitely going to be enough to take out that already super damaged Mega Venusaur, and the tank is down. So Jordan's got a lot to worry about maintaining his control over this match. We're going to see Medicham goes back, saving up another fake out. Gudra's coming in on the Noivern. And I'm pretty sure Jordan calls that. Nope. Hits him with the Air Slash. Jordan might not have been thinking on that round. Goes another Air Slash, trying to get flinch, I guess, and just build up damage on this Gudra. Draco Meteor comes out, though, and I think that mops up that Noivern. Boo, boo, doo, 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 doo. Yep, there it goes. Noivern goes down, and Gudra's special attack goes down as well. By 2 stages. Volcarona setting up with Quiver Dance, classic Volcarona move. It's actually a really smart move in this instance because his special defense goes up and that Gudra already... Oh, wow. The Gudra already lost some special attack, but Dragon Tail... Is there nobody left to switch out? That's his last Pokemon, so Dragon Tail doesn't stop the Quiver Dance build-up. And Gudra goes down to a double Bug Buzz. Medicham coming in with the fake out. Of course, you just assume. Boom. And that is enough. Nope, not enough to kill the Volcarona. And Volcarona's faster, so he's going to Giga Drain the Medicham. Not killing him. And then Medicham Psycho Cut, right? Yeah. Psycho Cut trying to get the KO. And that finishes Volcarona. And the match actually goes to William. William actually won his first match of the whole league. Right there. He takes down Jordan and keeps him in 4th place. Jordan is going in the 4th place seed for this next week in the playoffs. Which means, I'm pretty sure that means he's going up against Reese in the first week of playoffs. And I'm going up against Mike regardless at that point. A word? So William doesn't end the league with 0 wins. He actually, on the last week of regular season, he takes that yeah, for real. He takes that victory and goes home with a 1-7 record and keeps Jordan in 4th place for playoffs. So that's awesome. And now we have my match versus Mike. I'm playing as Rena again because I was saving the match on my Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, and that was my girlfriend's game. So I'm the female in this battle. Nothing wrong with that. And so let's talk about the teams. Mike's bringing in Kingdra, and that Jolteon he picked up a while back, his Breloom, and he's got a lot of his classics on here. I was pretty prepared, and I'm bringing up that Mamoswine I picked up and Nidoking from last week. I feel like I should have left Nidoking at home in this match, but we'll see. So let's get right into that one at the tail end of this song. Mike shoots out Sableye for the lead, which I think I predicted that. I was going with Mamoswine, yeah, so I could set up Stealth Rocks with a Focus Sash Mamoswine. And I should have predicted that taunt, but he leads with taunt, and Stealth Rocks is null and void, so I go ahead and switch out Mamoswine so I don't get any damage and I can maintain that Focus Sash, and Heracross switches into the Will-O-Wisp. So that's pretty bad for Heracross, even Mega Heracross, because he loses some stages of attacks when he's burned, and he's taking constant damage. But I stayed in there for this one round and turned him into Mega Heracross to get some... I think I used Rock Blast. He goes for the taunt, assuming that I'm going to use Swords Dance to counteract that burn. I did not. I went into Rock Blast. Now I'm both burned and taunted, though, so I know I can't use Sword Dance at any point, and I'm going to take damage every turn, and Mega Heracross is a big asset, so I'm going to go ahead and withdraw him, pretty sure. That would have been the smart thing to do. Oh no, he uses Torment, so I can't use the same attack over and over again. I kept him in, and I used Rock Blast already. He avoids it, so that sucks for me. And I'm definitely switching out on the Torment taunt, the double Torment taunt. But now I'm prepared for this Sableye to have that from now on. So I switch into Mamoswine again, leading hopefully this Focus Sash. Yes, cool. So he switches out, and I get a free switch in on this Talonflame. So Talonflame is prepared to take me out with this Bulk Up, and I go ahead and get my Stealth Rock set. Now Talonflame's a big threat because he has Bulk Up. He's got Brave Bird and that priority Brave move. So he's going to use Flare Blitz, though. He's already faster than me. And it would have KO'd me after that Bulk Up, but because I have Focus Sash on, I hold on by 1 HP, and he takes the damage from Life Orb and the recoil damage from Flare Blitz. So that gets him down to like half health, and then I'm able to actually outspeed him into a knockoff. Like, I don't know why he didn't use a bird type move. But I get the Life Orb off of him, and I die because of burn. Dragonite comes out, ready to eat this. Boom! Extreme Speed takes out Talonflame. Oh! Well, Talonflame dies from recoil damage. Whatever. Same thing, right? Dragonite eats that Flare Blitz, though, and Talonflame goes down for the count. So it's a big threat off of my plate right there. Sableye comes in on the Stealth Rocks, takes a little bit of damage. It's just going to be counteracted by his leftovers at the end of this. And I want Dragonite for later, so I bring him back in and switch in Arcanine so I can get a stage of attack off on this Sableye with Intimidate. Of course, he was going for Taunt, so I couldn't set up on any of my Pokemon. Arcanine falls for the Taunt. Morning Sun's kind of a big deal for this Arcanine, but I think I'm going to keep him in for now. Yeah, he uses Torment now, and I used Flare Blitz. Boom. A good chunk of damage to the Sableye. Not enough to kill him, and the recoil damage does do a decent amount to me. So now I'm taunted and tormented, which is never good. So I bring him back just in case. I want to use that Morning Sun. And I bring out Tidus, which I should have kept him in the background. It's a free switch for both of us, basically, but I should have kept out Tidus for later. And I leave him in. I'm thinking this Kingdra, I don't know, use Focus Energy, which I did not see coming. For those of you that don't know, it basically makes like all your attacks critical after that. So I use Protect just to kind of like offset that Dragon Pulse that he's going to hit me with. And then he uses it finally. Almost fully KOs my Tidus. I use Toxic. It finally does hit him. I should have used Wish. Then I could have kept it going for a little bit, but I wasn't really thinking. I wanted to get that poison onto that Kingdra. So now I can block one more with a free Protect and get another stage of poison on him. Dragon Pulse. Oh, Focus Energy. See, that's when I should have used Wish. Doesn't matter now, though. And I thought because he didn't attack me last turn that I could use Protect again, so I should have used Wish. But that does KO Titus, and he goes down for the count. But at least he was able to get some poison stages on him. I should not have let that go down like that, though. Get Nidoking out there. Hopefully I'll have enough damage with Sheer Force and Life Orb. Sludge Wave. I outspeed the Kingdra for a KO. Yeah! Even if I didn't kill him, that Toxic was going to kill him. But I don't think I could have afforded another thing. I didn't see this coming at all. I thought Jolteon, whatever. He uses this hidden power. And I don't know what it is. Maybe it's Steel or something. It's super effective against my Nidoking, and he crits me. So, like, Nidoking goes down in one hit. And that would have been, like, one of my main ways to counteract that Jolteon, because he's a ground type, and both my ground types are down now. And he withdraws, I guess, assuming I'm going to do close combat. And I don't. I use Rock Blast. And that's enough to kill the Sableye. I think after that he switches into Mega Gardevoir. Heracross just holding on, waiting to do like one more attack before he gets KO'd. Mega Gardevoir comes in onto the Stealth Rocks, traces my Skill Wink, but it's not going to matter because she's going to change into Mega. And then Mega Gardevoir uses Calm Mind to start stacking up. Maybe she can go ahead and get a late sweep on my team. I disagree. I go for Pin Missile, I think. And if I wasn't burned, I would have definitely murdered this Gardevoir with one attack from Mega Heracross, because I would have gotten the full 5 off with no burn reduction. So that really sucked for me. Definitely would have killed him. And then I could have swept the remaining of his team. But it's not enough, and Psychic is enough to take down Heracross. But Mega Gardevoir is basically almost dead, so Dragonite can sweep her up with a quick Extreme Speed. Now, if you remember last week when I had my match against Jordan, it really got down to like one move, and it was Extreme Speed, and I didn't use it. So he brings out Breloom, and I'm thinking I'm fast enough. So I'm going to use a Dragon Dance just to set up my Dragonite for a full sweep with double Extreme Speed or something. I think I could just finish off the remaining of his Pokemon. He hits me with a Rock Tomb, which I did not see coming. Does a massive amount of damage on my flying type and lowers my speed by a stage. So I didn't see the Mach Punch coming either. I could have probably killed him with Extreme Speed, but it was too late by then, because the Mach Punch outspeeds everything. Now Arcanine comes out, gets some stage of attack reduced with Intimidate, and I think I used Flare Blitz to go ahead and KO the Breloom. Boom. Yep. More than enough. I take some recoil damage, which might actually be the death of me in this, and Jolteon comes out. Now Jolteon comes into Stealth Rocks, and I feel like Extreme Speed, I might have been able to kill him with this. But he uses Discharge, and it KOs my Arcanine, and that was my last Pokemon. That was it. Extreme Speed, maybe I could have won, not quite sure. But I take the L on that one. And Mike goes into playoffs as the second place seed, and I go in as the third place seed, losing my second place from last week for the first time ever. So as soon as I get it, I lose it, but at least I'm in third place going into the playoffs, and I get a redemption match against him in playoffs, which will be a best of 3. So it'll be me versus Mike, and then Jordan versus Reese for the playoffs. And this week we're going to try to get those done as soon as possible, but we'll have those streaming next week. So it'll be a lot longer of a stream next week because it'll be best of 3. Like minimum, each match is going to be 2 videos to watch. So like maybe somebody gets swept in both. But with the way the season's been going and the switch out in between rounds, I feel like we'll probably see like 3 videos per each match of the first playoffs, and definitely hoping for a 3 video playoff for the final game But we only got 2 weeks left, so week 10 is over. Week 11 is the first week of playoffs, the semifinals, and then we go into the finals on week 12. And right after that, Pokemon Sun and Moon comes out, so you guys can all look forward to that. And just keep an eye out. If you haven't, oh crap, I think I missed the day on my Pokemon game. If you haven't been paying attention to your Pokemon demo, there's still events that happen all the time, so definitely want to look into those, and get all the cool stuff to transfer over into your new copies. I don't really think anybody's on right now for live battles, and I was trying to do a short stream this week anyway, since we got some really long ones coming up. So that is the end of week 10. We'll be heading into semifinals next week. Again, it'll be Mike versus me again, and then Aris versus Jordan for the semifinals. Best 2 of 3, and I guess I'll see you guys next week. Thanks for watching the stream. Be sure to like the channel and all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys next week.